This is the video review for the Marvel Avengers Shockstrike Thor. And Thor here is pretty nice. Unlike many of the other Marvel Avengers figures I've reviewed over the past couple of days, well, actually it's been a while since I reviewed any more of these, but unlike the others, this guy stands pretty easily, because he's got a badass cape. Looks badass with a cape, and it supports him. You can almost just plop him down, and it'll look decent. And then you can do a, well, the surface is a little bit tilted, so he won't stand as easily on the surface as he will on other surfaces, but you can do a pretty good running pose with this cape. It works really nicely. I mean, this is what I've been wanting out of any of the Marvel figures at all. The ability to stand. The Hulk could do it pretty well, but he sucked. The other Thor could do it decently, but he still suffers from the same flaws that most of the other ones of these figures do, which is limited foot articulation. And this guy, he solves it by having a tripod solution. Now, it is important to note that the cape is not symmetrical, so he'll stand better one way or the other. I've mostly been posing him with his right leg forward, so it may end up being that he stands a lot better with his left leg forward. It's up to experimentation. It probably varies quite heavily on what the pose is. Now, this guy, he comes with this weapon here. It's a very, very ugly thing. And it's his hammer, encased in energy, and it fires. And it doesn't shoot very far, but it's very powerful. It can propel this maybe 2 feet or so, not very far, but because of how heavy it is quite powerful. If you were to, I don't know, cut this down to here, it would shoot quite a ways. But this weapon is, well, really not my style. You can either clip it to his wrist or put it into his hand. Either way, it's going to weigh him down, and it's just too big for him. I don't like these weapons they've been giving these figures. As for posability, we'll start with the head. Oh wait, before we get into that, he also comes with a hammer that actually looks like hammer rather than the flimsy axe that the other Thor came with. I like this. It looks like what Thor should have. Excuse me. As for posability, because of his hair, the way it's shaped, and because of his cape, his head actually isn't that posable. I may actually end up cutting some of this back hair off. I don't think it'll actually change the way he looks that much, but cutting that off would really improve his articulation. His cape can move back and forth, so if you need to put his cape back and then lean him on it, you can do that. It's a rubbery plastic. I'm not sure if it's actual rubber or if it's just plasticized PVC. I have no idea how this cape will endure, but it works for now. The arms go forward, back. The cape will get in the way a little bit. Then go in and out, rotate above the elbow, bend 90 degrees at the elbow, and that's about it for that. The legs will go back, then go back about that far. You have to bend the cape out of the way to do it, but they can bend back that far. Go forward, go out, and he has a double-jointed knee like Captain America does, and that's one of the things that made me really like that Captain America figure. And you can rotate above the knees too, and that's about it for posability. I wish he had some foot articulation, because that would make this guy just perfect, because then his legs alone would be good enough for him to balance, but then you would have his cape too, which would just make him the Limbo King. Well, I guess not Limbo King, because his cape would push him up, but he would balance really well. Oh well. But yeah, I do like this guy. I like him a lot. I like him the most out of any of these figures I've reviewed so far, just because he can be dynamic with his cape. Yeah, the cape isn't as forgiving as I would like. I wish it were just a little bit softer, but it's really nice, and it does propel him way into the top. He can like I was saying earlier, he can do a pretty badass running pose. If he will cooperate. Yeah, like that. None of the other figures can quite pose like this and make it look as natural. And part of it's just because that cape looks badass. So I really recommend this figure. If you like my reviews, you want to see more, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.